to you by Shawn Porter Promotions. Live from Los Angeles.
I'm gonna need you to move your hand. You messing up my product placement. Thank you.
There's nothing right there. You gotta deal with Apple?
We working on that.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Listen, it's easier to walk in what you're running from. This is the PorterWay Podcast. As I told y'all before, I'm going to start every episode with a motivational message. Might sprinkle in some quotes and things like that I've either come across myself or I'd have made up myself. That one I came across, but there it is, man. I want to start you guys off. Probably start this one we start every episode a little serious now, I guess, for the sake of words. But we're going to figure out how we're going to do that. But I got to give y'all more of what I feel God has given me. What up, Ant?
Man, we here. It
was empty over there. I didn't even look over there till now. Beyond the tail, there's usually other like stuff over there.
I had a quote for you.
Okay.
The fear of something happening is sometimes more powerful than it happening.
Ooh.
So people are scared.
Yes, I got that.
I got that from my guy.
Yeah.
But sometimes people are scared to take chances.
Wow.
And your self-fear is holding you back. So.
Let me try this. The fear of something happening is sometimes worse than it actually happening.
Yep, more powerful.
It's sometimes more powerful than it actually happening. Yeah, that's kind of like what we did the other week too.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that one, but I got this one off the top. Yeah. Beyond that, everything good with you, boss?
Yeah, man, everything good, man. Getting over a sickness. I was down and out last week. Yesterday and today, I'm feeling a lot better.
Louisiana soon.
I'll be in Louisiana on the 25th to the 30th.
Don't tell everybody how long, and you know.
I mean, I'll be at the Warrior and the Pelicans game. Shout out to Chris Middleton. I think I said that.
Okay. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You want me to drop your name?
No, don't drop my name.
Okay. See what
I got to hit a couple Cavs playoff games though.
Yeah, man, the Cavs.
I feel like it's this year or it ain't.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna
I don't
happen.
know if y'all gonna win it.
Shout
out to the Cavs.
It seems kind of crazy, right?
What if it's the Cavs and OKC?
That makes sense.
They the two best.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not even close either.
Yeah. I know.
Rolling. Shout out to my Warriors. We started rolling ever since we got Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
we looking good.
Yeah.
I need this. So it'd be nice to catch.
I know you were still like,
I was actually dipping out, and then I said, "Oh."
You saw Jay Butler come through.
I was about to divorce my girl, then she hit the lottery, and I came back.
There it is. Hey, I wanted to jump into a couple of things before we get our guests on. I want you to pull a clip of Floyd doing his thing with his uncle, I believe it is.
Bring that shit. Bring that smoke. Bring that shit.
Take him out, Rob. Take him out, Rob.
Uh-oh.
Take him out,
Oh,
Rob.
yeah.
The Black Mamba. Woo! Catch him. Best defense
I see people don't like the fact that I said that Shakur Stevenson has the best defense that I said personally that I've ever seen.
Okay.
And I included Floyd Mayweather in my personal rankings of who I've seen with my eyes personally, and people didn't really like that.
Did you get a lot of pushback?
I got a lot of pushback. I'm not gonna go back and watch Pretty Boy Floyd fights. I'm not gonna do that because that's just not me. I don't do that. But I just saw that a lot of people are like, people are taking that as if I'm like trying to jump on Shakur's team or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to let y'all know, like, so I came in here with this today. I was like, first of all, let me show y'all, like, I ain't know it was nice like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't know it was nice like that. I saw Money
you didn't
Mayweather.
know it was nice like that?
Like that? That's clean.
Nah,
and I know you just
Okay,
training. I know you just training.
Okay,
but
Shawn.
yeah.
Even Money Mayweather defense was nice now.
Money had the shoulder roll, the Philly shell.
Yeah.
And it was like, if you didn't penetrate that, which nobody did from what I saw.
Oh, but you like that movement right there.
That's what I'm talking about.
So fresh.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like, I'm not saying he didn't limit himself. He just figured out nobody can stop this and take what I give you.
You watching Money Shakur.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I mean, you watching Pretty Boy Shakur.
Pretty Boy Shakur. There you go.
Yeah.
But he basically like take it. and you can't do nothing about it, which I absolutely straight up and down love. But I had a lot of people like, yo, he's tripping, he's crazy, all this other kind of stuff. I was like, I happened to see this clip. I was like, yo, let me bring this clip in and just let y'all know I ain't know it was that nice. I knew it was nice, but I ain't know it was that nice, But the other side of that is, would you believe I went and I sparred, I went out to LA to I'm got the hit factor in my head. A wild card, excuse me.
Okay.
Went to wild card. Somebody's in the gym and found out through the grapevine that Manny is about to fight Miguel Cotto.
Okay.
In the gym, call my dad. You got to bring Shawn out here. He'll spar in front of Freddie. It'll be like an audition. He's guaranteed to take Shawn to the Philippines to train with Manny. My dad's like, pack your stuff. We going to L.A.
From Cleveland?
Yeah, well, yeah, we was in Ohio at this point in time. He's like, we're going to L.A. and you're going to spar with Manny Pacquiao.
Okay.
Get there, and I just get in the ring and I do me. When it was all said and done, my dad had a side conversation with Freddie. I sparred probably twice. He had a side conversation with Freddie after the second time I sparred with him. So we was in there for a week. Mm-hmm. And he's like, he told my dad, yeah, I want to take him to the Philippines. And so my dad was like, we got the job. We're going to go to the Philippines. My dad looked at me. This is a true story. Asked my dad if you see him. Do you even know who Manny Pacquiao is? I said, no. He said, you better get on YouTube and start looking at this dude before you go out there and spar with him. That's how far away from boxing I was, even though I was in it. I didn't know who some of the biggest names were. Forget, you talking about Pretty Boy, Money. I knew about them, but I didn't know them. I didn't even have eyes on Manny Pacquiao before I sparred with him. My dad was like, you need to go look at some YouTube videos before you go out there and get beat up. Like, you need to know what you're getting into.
What type of energy?
Yeah, so I'm using that to let y'all know, like, when I say it's what I've seen with my two eyes in front of me, the list goes on. Yeah, I'm limited in terms of what I've seen. Y'all know what I've seen because I talk about it on the podcast, realistically. And y'all know what I've seen because y'all are watching the fights when I'm broadcasting. Before I started broadcasting, before I started doing the podcast, I really wasn't watching boxing.
But you still, at the same time, you got to say, you still have a long knowledge of the sport.
Exactly.
Who's your favorite fighter?
I just had the knowledge of the sport. My favorite fighter is Marvelous Marvin Hagler. And, I have a knowledge of the sport, but you can't put me in the ring with no guys like Shawn. Yeah, like Shawn I'll be like, all right, cool. When you done, I'll clock back in when you done. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to bring that up real quick because I just felt like, y'all coming down raining on me, and I'm like, y'all need to realize, like, I'm not the guy. Like, I'm not, y'all love it. I just did it,
At the same time, I think Floyd Mayweather's dad always said he did that because he wanted his son to get hit. That was his baby.
Yeah.
I love that about the sport. Like, if my son box, I want you to take less hits punishment as possible. If it's born, it's born. I don't care.
I've recognized that about most dads.
Yeah.
A lot of dads, I'm not going to say most, but a lot of dads are defense first kind of coaches. Marcus Taylor, shout out to Marcus Taylor, the fighter I'm training now. His dad was a defense first kind of coach.
Yeah.
And, we've like kind of analyzed his boxing and how he punches and how he delivers. And I'm like, you taking something off of it. Unconsciously, he's turned on to being defensive.
Wow.
So he's taking something off of the punch, you know what I mean? So we're working on changing that as well. So there's a lot to this game, man, that I do appreciate and I do love, but for the most part, watching it was not something.
Teofimo's on.
KO's on.
You got to walk a fine line in this sport where you got to be defensively sound for your family, what matters, and also please the fans and be offensive.
Yeah. Let's bring him on. Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast. My man, again, Teo, the takeover, Lopez.
This party is about to
Yo, what up? You guys got me? Hold on, wait.
We kind of got you. You on the
Is
plane?
it better this way?
Yeah,
Which way is best?
that works.
This way?
That works.
I think are you in Mexico right now?
No.
You,
No, not at all. I'm
made-
actually in Miami right now.
Made your way back home.
What happened?
Made your way back home.
Got back here like 2 days ago.
Okay, I got you. And listen, we were just talking about dads and how dads how dads coach. What kind of coach would you say your dad is? Offensive coach, defensive coach, counter puncher? You know, like kind of what kind of coach do you think you came up under?
That's interesting. That's actually a very, very good question, especially from you, Shawn, because your father too. You know, Kenny. You know, salute to your dad as well. You know, he definitely paved the way for you. I would say I actually want to hear your thoughts too on it. I would say my father is like a defensive catch and shoot type of coach.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
He's very he's very strategic with it, and he definitely, I think because people lag a lot with the fact of not reacting quick enough when they catch a punch or they block a shot. And my father's very his IQ on that is very high, and especially when there's certain movements that you could block a punch that I didn't realize, even the ones with the forearm. I learned that with my father. So
okay.
I think that's a good thing about it. How about you? What can you say about your father? Like with Kenny, what type of coach was he to you?
I've described you as a counterpuncher by nature that can be offensive and be, you know, kind of a striker when you need to be. And now hearing you say that your dad was more of a like catching counter kind of guy, that all makes sense now. My dad has a very aggressive nature, and I think that that really just showed up in who I was in the boxing ring. We learned like really early on that you throw them punches in them bunches, and you know there's nothing you can do about it. You know, so my dad was I would say an aggressive offensive coach.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's pretty interesting, right? Because like a lot of people sometimes may not give credit where credit's due, especially when it comes to father and son duos.
Yeah.
We may be naturally talented, but I think what gives us that gift is from our trainers. And you know, we were blessed enough, you and I, as world champions and former champions, to actually be trained by our fathers. I think that's a blessing too. So,
I tell you another one. You know, a lot of guys work the rolling on the rope. You take the rope across the ring, and then you work the roll. My dad would make me do that as a kid and make me stay low to the point that I would cry because my thighs was hurting. I would cry because I was just tired of beating this with, you know, just going. But my dad knew, like, you're gonna need this in life, you know? And so my dad broke a lot of barriers that I would have faced in life in the boxing ring, you know? And then as I turned pro, that rolling action, that slip and slide, that get to you kind of style that I had ended up being the style that I used the most of any style, any other style. So yeah, man, I think you and I both, you know, we probably have faced a lot of trials, but the success that have come from those trials, you know, we can't pay for it.
I definitely agree. I mean, you put a valid point there, especially when it comes to the fact of how much they I don't want to say overtrain, but how they work us.
Yeah.
You know, as our fathers, they're so determined on, you know, they may express that we are the best at what we do before we believe it, but that's the intent and the amount of work and hours they put onto it. I mean, that's a lot of people don't know. You know, people are there when we win, but they're not there when we're doing the work.
Yep.
And you know, even from that standpoint, you know, especially for you, you know, you also was doing football. And my thing is like, what's one style that you could say that you watch in boxing that you felt like you emulated a bit? You know, because we all grab bits and pieces of every world champion that paved the way for us.
Yeah. I think for me, I just tried to always be active. And that was something that I saw from Marvelous Marvin Hagler. He was always moving. He was always doing something. And we kind of feel like that's what separates me from the generation now. There's not a lot of fighters that are active practically every single second of every round. That's how I was.
Yeah, I can see it, especially with the jittery, the movements. I was watching a couple videos a couple days ago while I was in Mexico City, and I was seeing Marvin Hagler. And I can just notice you know, sometimes he'll try to start off orthodox here and there. Surprisingly, try to, you know, psych the fighter out.
Yeah.
And make him think twice, and I think that's a ballsy move at the same time from him, because his natural stance is southpaw.
Yeah.
But then coming into the orthodox stance is like right in the opening bell, anything could go.
Right,
we're still cold, right?
Yeah, right.
And I noticed with Hagler though, he would do a lot of ticks, a lot of feints, even with his hands gestures.
Yep.
And now that you kind of you put that onto perspective, I'm like, I see that. I seen that with you.
Yeah.
It would either not be the hands or the feet. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then there'll be like almost like a pounce or a pounce. What is it? Pounce?
A pounce
that you do onto the fighters. Yeah. And it will work.
Yeah.
It'll freaking work.
Yep. Hey, listen, talk to us a little bit about the relationship with Eddy Reynoso. How's that going? And how does that combine with what you already have with your dad?
I think it does very well. It sits well when it comes to Eddy Reynoso and their team. Their stuff is a little bit more flat-footed, though. That's the only difference I can say about it. However, it's just really when you're in that inside pocket, if it ever gets there, knowing and how when and how to throw your punches in those moments. And I think that's they're very it's increments. Everything. And I think it's just those small little details in a fight that could really either make it a long night or a short night.
Hey, what? Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, so but I got news for you guys.
Uh-oh.
But look, due to the fact that we're fighting May 2nd and Canelo Alvarez is fighting May 3rd, they're gonna be going to Saudi Arabia 3 weeks prior to the fight.
Right.
So just so they can acclimate to the time zone, everything like that, right?
Right.
So it looks like we will not be training with them.
Okay. Well, you put in some work with them already, though, right?
Say again?
I said you put in some work with them already, though, right?
I mean, look, I was looking forward to going leaving tomorrow actually to camp with them and everything, but they just felt like it wasn't enough time. Maybe they don't feel like maybe they just don't feel like I'm focused, which is pretty interesting. So it is what it is. Maybe it's just not the time frame for it, or maybe they wanted a longer duration, more than 2 weeks into camp with me. So whatever it is up in the air. We respect them. We look forward to maybe even fighting on their card against Crawford in September at the Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. And then we see from there, But until then, I'll probably just do camp here in South Florida with my father, lock in like we did with Josh Taylor. Not really let anybody know where we're at. And just, focus on that. I actually got one of my other coaches that I used to train with that started me with footwork and defense that maybe a lot of people don't know him. Some may. His name's Milton LaCroix. He comes from New York. And that's actually the first coach that I started with that gave me my defense and my footwork. So he's here in South Florida. So it's just going to be him and my father. And I think it's great. It's cool. Even though Eddy Reynoso will be an extra with an extra plus. Yeah. I think that everything happens for its reasons. I'm very true to that, especially when it comes to faith. I believe God has plans for all of us. And, que viva Mexico, que viva todos los Latinos también. And I just feel like, it'll come around when the time is right.
Yeah, Ant's available here in Vegas if you
Yeah, I could watch some YouTube videos and I could do something with your feet, bro. We'll get you right.
Yeah.
Hey, but
something though, it's a lot harder when you're doing it than watching it.
Yeah, I know. But
just like our spectators out there that even casual fans, they think that is easy, but when they go in there and they try to throw a couple punches in the first round, they're like, "What the F?"
Oh yeah.
So it's a whole different world. But Shawn, you looking sharp, man, especially on this blessed Sunday.
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. Go ahead.
Hey, Tio, one thing about you, man, I come from that where I dream big. I don't limit my dreams. And I feel like you dream big as hell. Some people think you're crazy. Tio, you dreamed all this stuff and stuff's happened so far. You fought at Madison Square. You fought in Vegas. Did you ever think you'll fight in Times Square?
I believe my higher self did. Okay. My physical self didn't understand that. So, yeah, I believe that I'm the next face for Latinos after Canelo Alvarez. Even though Canelo's hopeful for a Mexican, I'm sorry to say that, but God chose me. Yeah. And, once Canelo's out, I'll be the face of the Latinos.
There it is.
And it'll be perfect because I speak more English, but then we'll definitely start tapping in a little bit more in my language barrier of Spanish.
Okay.
But as far as that, yeah, I'm dreaming big. Absolutely. I've earned it and I deserve it. I received it. And on top of that, I think that mainly it's just about holding on to it, really. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier gaining and going for these things rather than keeping them. I mean, you're seeing it right now with a big change in my division alone. We just got another new champion of Gary Antoine Russell at 140 pounds in the WBA division. In that sanction. So, there's a lot of changes right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the near future holds for Teofimo and for everyone around my weight class. It's gonna be fun.
Hey, Tio, can we do not to take it there, but can we do Canelo Crawford and then Crawford Keyshawn versus Tio in the co-main and Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas in September? Can we do that?
I'd say I'd say me and Jerron and his boots as co-main.
Oh, damn.
Jerron and his boots, or the winner between Boots and Staniosis at 147.
Okay.
That'll be for the Ring magazine. That'll be 3-time lineal world champion at 28. That's more historic levels for me than a little baby boy of Keyshawn Davis.
Okay.
So
Keyshawn
he's still a baby.
He still needs to do more in the game?
Hmm?
Keyshawn needs to do more in the game before he gets your attention? Keyshawn Davis.
Oh, get a Ring magazine. Get something. To be honest, though, I don't mind fighting him. That'll be easy money for me. And on top of that, it'll be easy game.
Okay.
He's chinny. He hasn't. Top Rank knows how to build fighters. I'm sure. Look, I know that from my own point of view. They know how to build fighters. It's different though once you get to that level of when they become your enemies. When you're Top Rank's enemy, that's when things get a little harder. And if you defeat their opposition on that level, then what is there to really face?
What
Just yourself.
do you see flaws in the Boots game that you could take advantage of?
I see flaws in everybody's game. If I have some, so does everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I mean? It's valid, right?
It is.
Give me one for Boots Ennis.
One for Boots Ennis?
Yeah.
Defense.
His inside game is not that well.
Okay.
What do you think he does the best?
Another thing, he's too distracted with the crowd.
Yeah.
Too focused. So he's not really locked in tunnel vision inside when he's fighting another fighter in front of him.
What about the upside? What's one of the things you think he does well?
When he punches, he slips off the line.
Uh-huh.
I think another one is that, once he gets his mojo, and that's if you get him there, he'll start switching his angles and stances midway.
Yeah. That's what, to me, that's where he gets dangerous, when he starts hitting them angles. Because he can get to it.
No, absolutely. But his downfall is gonna be that he's at 47 for too long.
Uh-huh. And then what about Keyshawn? Keyshawn moving up to 140 to fight you. What's one of his flaws? One of his downfalls?
That's for me to know and everybody find out.
Okay. All right.
Fuck him.
Now here, really, this is why I really wanted to get you on the podcast.
Okay.
You look like you was having a ball with all of this whole goddamn promotion.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's been like your favorite part of it? Like what's
My favorite part about it is that I'm fighting again and with the right things in place.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part about it. I think that it's been time and everything's aligning the way it needs to. You see, the WBO, what I was very upset about with the WBO is this. So let me actually add you into this, because I could be controversial, but in a very lenient way.
I'm retired.
I know you're retired. Good answer. All right, so I'm gonna announce I'm retired right now while I say this.
We heard that before.
WBO. Now we got a new president of Gustavo, who I think is a great man at the same time. I think it was a great choice by Paco Esquire. I think that the whole thing was great. However, now, Shawn, the WBO is sanctioned where? What state? What country?
Where they at?
I don't know. Ask me. Well,
I just asked you. Where they at? Where they at?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I'm asking you because I don't know. Where they at? Germany?
So, WBA. All right, WBA was sanctioned where? I'll say, give you a point right there. I think Venezuela.
Okay.
I think Roberto is from Venezuela. And then WBC is sanctioned where?
Mexico and LA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, IBF is where? Like New Jersey area? Where
yeah, I think they're in New York
East?
New York or Jersey, yeah.
Or is it Ohio? What's
no,
IBF at?
No, IBF is either New York or Jersey.
There you go, see? All right, and then WBO.
Puerto Rico.
Do you know?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Yeah. There you go. So I didn't fight the whole scandal that they had going on with Sabrina Matias, who is what? Where's he from?
He's Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah.
So I have since I'm the WBO Super World Champion, I get about, I think, 16 to 18 months before I got to do another mandatory, right? Another fight to defend the world title, correct? So why would they put Arnold Barboza and Jack Catterall as the interim world titles or world champions? Why? If I had fought in June of the end of June of last year, and we're only tapping in right now into, what is it, March?
Yeah.
That's less than the time that I need, right, to defend it again.
Yeah, 60 days, give or take.
And why is it that, at the same time, what I don't like is stop changing your sanctioning rules. What I don't like is that they change their sanctioning rules whenever the F they want. And I don't like that. Respectfully, I don't like that. I go off of, if the rule book is that, then keep it that way. It's like, that's why even when it comes to the Bible, if you're reading scriptures, that's the scripture. You don't rewrite it.
Right.
And what I don't like is that boxing right now is just rewriting shit.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah.
For a standpoint, Anthony, look at this. How they go off of Gervonta Davis taking a knee and then going midway, Steve Willis?
Yeah.
Doing the 4 count and then stops it.
That was crazy.
And then they allow it, and then they call it a draw, and then they say they try to overturn it, but they can't overturn it. It's already done. The gig is up. And then they keep it a draw, but they change the rules.
If I'm a boxer, if I get dropped, I'm gonna tell the ref to stop.
Yeah.
Tank did it.
Yeah.
Hey, stop. No.
Yeah, you got to finish that count.
Yeah.
When Floyd got hurt, he hurt his hand, and one of his hands he touched. I don't even think he touched the canvas, but they started right away, giving him the 8 count.
Yeah.
Giving him a 10 count at least. He beat it. But this is my problem with today's sport of boxing, is that everyone's changing their sanctioning rules, and they make them, and they create them. But to whose benefit is it when we got to pay 2%?
Yeah.
To each thing, depending if we have one belt, whatever the case is, and that's just off of each fighter that's fighting for that belt.
Well, then that brings us to TKO.
So it's not just a champion.
How do you feel about everything that's going on with TKO?
I agree with Ryan Garcia on one thing when it comes to TKO is this: if that Dana's coming into our sport, the pay has to be either equivalent to what it is now or more, but it cannot be less, because then we're back to everything being under one umbrella. I might as well go and start learning UFC. I might as well learn jiu-jitsu and everything else right now.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. It's a multi-billion-dollar company, and they're gonna pay us pennies.
Yeah. I don't know exactly.
If you think about it though, from that standpoint, other than that, I think it's great for the sport if we have one belt now, and it being the Lineal, the Ring Magazine belt.
Yeah, the one point I like about Dana, with Dana is all about the business making the money, not the fighters.
Yeah, and that's a no-go.
Yeah.
That's a no-go because he's going to pull out the same rule book of Todd DeBuff. I remember in 2017, the end of the year, I was getting my signing bonus. And when I went to go pick up my check in 2017, Todd DeBuff, being who he is, very egoistic and stuff, he was on the phone walking around the Top Rank office, and he said, "We don't need the fighters need us." And look at Top Rank. Are they getting a new network deal?
Nope.
So who's really who and what needs what?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, yeah, of course, we all got to make a fight. Yes, we all got to make a living. And yes, we're going to help businesses. But at the same time, to what cost? To what cost?
Hey, yo, tell us about Arnold Barboza, man. It seemed like the energy between y'all, for me, it was way crazier than I expected it to be.
Yeah, because people take my kindness for weakness. You know, people say I get punked here and there. No, it's the moment you touch me, then it's off limits. I was taught that way. We don't touch nobody unless we get the move. You got to hit us or you got to do something. I'm crazy. I'm crazy like that. Don't touch, like it's the ones that are most kind to people that actually will do something. Those are the ones you got to be worried about. And what happened is that I don't mind the whole talking smack about me, whatever, and the false narratives, because we did everything. Yeah. And we fought a lot of people. We fought the best of the best. Yeah. Twice already in 2 different weight classes. But the thing is the fact that don't try it. Don't test it. because I guarantee you I'm not gonna hold back. And he said, "What? You think this is an effing game?" And then no, he found out it's not a game. I'm gonna slap the hell out of you. You didn't even see it. I'm fast. I'm only better now. Trust me, I'm only getting better now.
Hey, Teo, what
feel it. So when it comes to the Arnold Barboza situation, I'm looking forward to May 2nd.
You know, Teo, we go through a lot in life, but I know once I had my baby, that it was literally my peace. What type of peace did your son bring you, man?
I wish I knew right now because I haven't had him in about. I haven't seen him since last year.
Okay.
So yeah, I haven't talked to him since last year.
I apologize by going there.
No, it's okay. It's life, man. It makes me thick-skinned at the end of it all. You know what I'm saying? It's a great character builder. My son is only 3, so he won't remember these days. You know, he doesn't start remembering until like 4 or 5. Obviously, we know as fathers here, you know, shout out to Dad Gang as well.
Yes, sir.
Great company for the father. Fatherhood is the best hood, I think. And yeah, that's the only motivation. My motivation is like when I get these barriers and these challenges personal in life, I take advantage of it in a humbling way now. You know, I think that we all need humble stages in our life to keep us grounded. You know, I think even just like with Donda, with Kanye West's mother, you know, a giant sees nothing in the mirror.
Yeah.
Even though they know they're a giant, they don't see nothing in the mirror, you know, because it's never too high. And I think God is just giving me that graceful time frame to understand that, in my life, in my own, you know. So that's why I'm very generous to people that are even mean to me now. You know, I don't really care. My end goal, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna have my son with me by my hip. So
T.O.,
that's really what I'm aiming for.
I see some dads. I don't respect that. Never give up on your baby, bro.
Nah, ever that. You know, some people do things the way they want to do them, you know, and I leave it to God to you know, do what he does best with it. You know, I don't know all the answers. As long as my son is doing well, his mother does a great job with him. Obviously, with all the funds and everything that I've worked very hard for, she's able to supply. And I'm grateful for that. You know, it's a good team effort, good teamwork. You know, and I think that's the beauty about having all this at the end of it all. You know, I was a grown man enough to leave it in there. I got to be grown enough to stay in there.
And how's the things with Top Rank? Are you controlling your career at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thankfully to Keith Connolly and Mike Boré, they doing a great job. Yeah. So I'm very grateful and pleased about it. It's been a long time overdue. And, you know, just with the right places and the right time of things, you know, I'm in good spirits with Top Rank. I think that they did a phenomenal job within my career to make the TakeOver brand out around the world, including with ESPN as the network. So, yeah, man, it's a blessing. It truly is. You know, I'm really motivated, Shawn. I'm really determined. I know a lot of people. Look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you're winning, they're going to be there. But they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw. Look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but, you know, it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean? You don't have to learn how to care about family, you know, mom, dad, brother, sister, you know, children, all that kind of stuff. But you actually have to learn how to care about the person that's holding that sign on the street. You have to learn how to. So for the most part, all these people writing and all that kind of stuff, their main thing is, what can I do to get people to click on my channel? And a lot of times, because they aren't triggered to care about this person, they're not triggered to think, this is how I do my thing, Teo. I protect fighters. I'm never gonna let you come on here and say something that you shouldn't be saying. I've even had my guy over here, and I'm like, oh, hey, we're gonna keep it moving past that. You know what I mean? Like, I protect everybody because I've learned how to care about other people. But, you know, for the most part, when it comes to athletics and it comes to winning and losing, people only care about the person that's winning. And they only care if you win in the way they want you to win. Kind of is what it is. Hey, yo, last question and we're going to get you up out of here. On May 2nd, how does the takeover become the fight of the night?
Be the takeover.
I still don't know that answer.
God damn it.
Can't give you an answer. I don't know. And I think that's something God is hiding within all of us. I don't know.
Yeah.
Even me as a fighter. I know I'm going to be there confident. Definitely. Know what I mean? I know there's many ways to beat that guy. However, the way I performed that night in the canvas, I give it all to my guardian angel and to all the angels above that to help me that night. That's it. You know, God is going to be the one that leads that way. And, you know, I'm going to win victoriously. That I know. Now, the result to it, don't know. I don't know. And I like it that way, actually. I really do. Because then if I don't know, nobody else knows. You know? Well, the only one that does know is God himself, and I think that's the beauty about it.
Amen.
And I look forward to it.
Amen.
And you know, to all the betting odds and everybody, put me as the underdog, please. Please. Because I know the business standpoint of it, I am the underdog. But as far as the stakes go and everything, I know I'm not. Vegas learned the hard way when it came to Lomachenko.
Yeah. So, hey, Teo, man, be safe out there. We'll be seeing you fight week. We coming out to that one.
Oh, yeah, man. It's going to be amazing. Hopefully, His Excellency has you actually seated as the true champion that you are. So
I do hope to be ringside for that one. So we'll see. Hopefully that comes too,
absolutely,
man. I appreciate you as always, sir.
I appreciate you as well. And thank you. Hey, listen, I haven't been in Vegas, but definitely once I have things in order, especially with the situation with my son and his mother, then definitely I would love to go to the future birthday parties and stuff like that.
Yeah, I got you.
That'll be amazing.
We'll make it happen.
We're going to catch up with you, big dog. Good luck. God bless.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Likewise.
Man. Good old Teofimo Lopez.
Always a good interview right there. Always a good interview.
I think that's the biggest thing about Teo getting in the ring is which Teo gets in the ring.
Yeah.
Josh Taylor, Lomachenko, that's pound for pound.
All day and all night, that's pound for
pound. That's not even a question. So I think that's the biggest question.
So he says he's a catch and counter kind of guy, which I already knew. I think he gets confidence and that'll get him on his front foot.
Okay.
But I think like just naturally, he even said it. He trains this way. Naturally, he's this way from growing up this way. He's a counter puncher by nature, right? So is Arnold Barboza. Mm-hmm. So usually when you got two counter punchers in the ring, it leads to a boring night of boxing because both guys, you go, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go. Barboza's not a big feiner, neither is Teo. But for me, the kicker is it's a good thing that Arnold is on this winning streak that he's been on. And he's gotten some, going over to England, getting the belt from England the way he did.
Now I can go get it.
That done pumped him up.
Yeah, I can go get it.
So please go get it so we can, you know what I mean? Go get it so we can get something good, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think that fight has the potential to be the fight of the night, even though I think it's kind of clear that it's Ryan and Rolly. I think that's kind of clear, you know what I mean? But like he said, you never really know until them bells ring.
That's a crazy night of boxing. Still, we still got Haney Ramirez.
Yeah,
that's a crazy night of boxing.
We gotta get one of them on here too.
Okay.
What time we got Keith coming on?
I got Keith coming on at 2:15. So
okay, cool. We got
15 minutes.
We got a minute. I wanted to shout out Ammo Williams. He fought last night. He had a tricky guy in front of him. And I thought he fought well. Thought he won the match. Thought he looked pretty good doing it. Thought that there's still some kinks in his armor, but hey, we growing until
we not.
we growing until we not. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he still got some growing to do. The fight ended up being in Florida, but it was originally supposed to be in Houston. So
hometown.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And that's his hometown. Also the hometown of the O Snatcher, Marcus Taylor. So
we doing something right now?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was leading into. This is the fight that we want.
This comes from Shawn Porter Promotions.
Now listen, Marcus, I had to talk him into still wanting to fight after he lost and got his oath took already.
He don't understand the business.
Yeah, I said we still need this guy. We need this fight. It's Houston. It makes a lot of sense. He's where you want to be. You can't, you got to go through Ammo. I thought that Ammo showed himself to be a pretty good boxer last night. I'm not gonna call him mouthy, but he's not afraid to show himself.
Yeah, you need that. You need that personality.
And last night, I just, I'm watching with a competitive mind. And, when he gets on the mic afterwards, I'm like, you ain't gonna say my boy's name. You ain't gonna say my boy's name. So I want to make sure that the boxing world's aware that Marcus Taylor, 160-pound fighter, is ready, will be ready, especially with the fight with Ammo Williams before the end of this year. That fight will be happening.
Okay. Where y'all want to do it at? In Houston? For all the marbles? Okay.
We got to go where the money is.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that there ain't money in Houston, but when there's a big car happening in Saudi, there's a big car happening in New York, there's no telling when the next big car going to happen in Vegas.
Passport?
Absolutely. Okay, I made sure he got that. Cool, you ain't messing with me if you ain't got no passport. We trying to go to Australia and get some things done, Yeah. So I was trying to be respectful, but this is a competitor in me. I just wanted to say congratulations. But we coming for you.
As a manager, promoter, trainer.
We coming for you.
Somebody said his wife was on there talking too. His wife was next to him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
She wasn't talking, but yeah.
She was right there.
Yeah, she was in there. Yeah, she was in there.
Shout out to his wife.
So no, don't do this though, because you got a baby coming. You gotta keep fighting. You gotta stay busy. You gotta stay active. I'm turning into friend. Anybody that know Ammo, I don't have a direct contact with him, but what happens when the family happens, you take time away from the work. You already know we get maternity leave, all that kind of stuff. When that stuff, but for fighters, we gotta stay. You gotta take care of the family, but you gotta take care of what got you to the point of being able to take care of the family. 2 separate lives
almost.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to balance it,
bruh. 2 different lives.
Yeah. Oh, now y'all do
2 different lives. Yeah. So he's locked in. I know I think he'll have a baby coming here soon in the next couple of months. So congratulations on that as well. But he looked good last night. Yeah. And my thing was I wanted you to look good enough for us to, when we say we want you, like I want everybody else to look at it and say, oh man, they want Ammo. Not the dude that look mediocre, you know what I mean? So
I think y'all got to handle y'all business on y'all side.
Yeah,
y'all got to look good. Y'all need a big knockout.
Yeah.
When y'all getting back in the ring?
I'm trying to get him back in the ring in April. In the ring in April.
Okay, next month.
It's coming up. Yeah, it's coming
down
up.
in Houston?
No.
Okay.
To be determined.
Okay.
We got some stuff in Australia that might be popping off for us. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Passport boys.
Yeah.
Okay, I see you.
Passport boys.
Okay.
There was a couple other fights last night. Shout out to Amado.
My man got it done. Tough fight. No disrespect to the guy he fought last night, but it was definitely a tough fight. One judge had it a draw, another one's had him winning a few, I think 4 rounds, something like that. But shout out to Armando, he got it done. One thing about him, out of all the Vargas brothers, no disrespect, he's the most entertaining to watch. Amado is going to give you a night of boxing. He going to take a punch, he going to give a punch. He going to take a punch, he going to give a punch. I love watching Amado fight, I ain't going to lie. He is he that kid that, hey, dance in front of the family. But Amado going to give you a night of boxing. You're going to get your money's worth, I promise.
If you have an opportunity to look at his face in the middle of all this, he be so serious. It'd be like, bruh, like you just swung way over here and missed. Yeah. But he come right back like I'm here,
And get punched. I'm like, is he hurt? Nah, he's still fighting like Amado, man.
I had to put my phone down like 3 times last night.
Watching him?
Cause they be in they in the corner.
Oh, okay.
Brother in the car, I could text brother like, yo, tell him this, tell him that.
Oh, yeah,
I've done it before.
Don't do that.
I've done it before. I've texted before. And I go, you're right. You know what I mean? Like, I've done it before. But last night I was like, just be cool. He got this one. Amado, your defense, bruh. Where's your defense?
Yeah, no. You don't want him taking the punches?
No.
Like, dang, Amado took the punch. Amado right back.
No.
Amado took the punch. Amado right back.
My man need to get his defense together.
That's the only reason why I think the dude was in the game.
Yeah.
Because of the defense.
Yeah. The one judge had it a draw. And I didn't judge the fight and look at it close enough to see if he clearly won the fight, but he won two more rounds on the other cards. But it's moments like that when you give up big punches, and even though you're not dazed and confused, but it just doesn't look good. So
Okay,
he gotta fix that moving forward.
and I know you feel like that's almost like watching your nephews fight. Like, come on, man,
Exactly.
come on, bro.
I mean, exactly.
That's the feeling you are like.
It was
come
3
on.
times last night to just put my phone down. I was like, no, let it go.
all right.
No, let it go. I'll see him in a couple weeks. Let it go. Berlanga got back in the ring.
Berlanga got back in the ring, got right out the ring.
Yeah. Was that 1 round?
Yeah, one round.
Oh, yeah. He's got his 1 round streak is back.
Yeah, but, we started back up. But yeah, Berlanga got in. Berlanga missed weight, so they agreed on different weight. So they moved. It went from 168 to 170.
It looked like they both was gonna miss weight though.
I think my man made the weight. That's very.
He made it.
That's very disrespectful.
He made it.
That's very disrespectful. Yes, he made weight. I think my man made weight easy too. This fool said looked like they both was gonna miss weight. No, yeah, he made weight. Shout out to Berlanga. Got the first round KO. Did what he's supposed to do.
I like that he got in the ring and he said that. He said I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I love the names that he called out.
Yeah.
Please actively pursue that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
actively pursue that.
You gotta first off, you only get one shot at the top. I said this with Plant. I said this with everybody when they fight Canelo. You get one shot at the top, you ain't going back. Did you see Canelo get another shot at Mayweather? You only get one shot at the top unless you like Madonna. Some of these fighters that get Lamont Roach, like you got to make it close, bro. You got to do something. You can't just survive 12 and be like, oh yeah, let's do another 12.
Yeah,
what's the point in that?
Let's do another 12 because that's exactly what you said.
Yeah, let's do another 12 so I can get a payday. I mean, go fight. You know who we all want. We all want Caleb Plant. We should have Caleb Plant on. Caleb Plant, don't call him. It's too late.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Caleb Plant wants to fight. You say you want to fight? Let's go, man. That's a good fight to build up right here in Vegas. You can do it in New York for all I care. Caleb, go beat him in his backyard.
Yeah,
go beat him in his backyard. I still feel like Berlanga lacks a lot of experience. Caleb's at a different level right now.
Yeah.
And I know I used to kill Caleb Plant 4 years ago because I felt like he lacks the championship rounds. He'd have been through losses. He'd been through everything it takes now that I feel like Caleb Plant is at
He's
level.
ready to be there.
And I know I don't matter, but you got to go through that as a champion, I feel like.
Yeah.
And Caleb Plant is a champion.
Yeah.
Even if he's not a champion.
Yeah, I mean, the fight that I had with Kell Brook, it was a 12-round fight. Yeah. It was a hard-fought match. I lost that match, but
you learned so much.
It improved so much in my game. And for me, I was never conscious of rounds. I never was like, oh, I got it. This is my first 10. This is my first 12. It was just clockwork. It was literally, for me, boxing was punching in and punching out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was no questions. When I'm on the job, do what's ever been told, do what I'm told to do. You know what I mean? So for me, I never had to question 12 rounds and stuff like that. Maybe that's something that Caleb has gone through. I know other fighters have gone through that, where you look up, you got a 10-round match, and it's all of a sudden your pace has like drastically changed. And it's like you don't pick it up till it's 6th round, 7th round. It's like your pace doesn't have to change, but some guys have to have the experience, to your point, of getting confident, being able to move and maneuver and things of that nature within, that 10, 12-round fight. So,
Why taking a beating? High quality beating.
And I really like what Breadman said. I interviewed Breadman. He said we've been working on managing his energy. And I knew it before he said it. He said it, and I was like, well, that's perfect. You got somebody that can come in, identify what it is, and say, this needs to change, Okay. So it's really not for Caleb. For early big fights, it might have been,
just how you...
but now...
Caleb comes in the ring and peaks immediately? Or it's not a slow rise? Because I know you and your dad and Coach, I know y'all got all these peak, drop, all this type of stuff y'all work with, analytics. So,
yeah, I think the round that I would throw the most punches in was like the 7th round.
Okay.
And then the round that I threw the least punches in was like a round or two later, which is crazy. It was like the 8th or the 9th round, which kind of, I guess it ain't crazy if, you know, you work kind of hard. It's like, oh, you know what I mean? Consciously, I wasn't thinking that. But yeah, for Caleb, I think some guys just have to be able to either do this or understand that this is my pace and by no means necessary do I go here, you know? But that fight right there, I think is a fantastic fight.
Hell of a fight. Caleb Plant versus Berlanga.
The Edgar Berlanga that we saw last night, the Edgar Berlanga we saw in rounds 9, 10, 11, 12 with Canelo, that's the kind of Edgar Berlanga we need against Caleb Plant.
Yeah, you better not come out there and think Caleb Plant gonna just fall off.
Caleb gonna come in and beat Caleb.
Ass. Yeah, and you get knocked out.
Yeah.
So both of y'all, let's round one. Let's go. Let's do Shawn Porter. Let's get shit to it. Okay?
Come on.
But I think that's a good. The build up is crazy.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody in each team gets slapped. You know, for the benefits of us, entertainment, and for the buys for PBC. Okay, we want to do at least $500,000. $500,000 good buys.
Man, listen.
$500,000 a good buy.
Yo, that build up gonna be like the pandemic. It's gonna be a screen in between them for everything.
Yeah. Like everything on paper says. Make the fight. Berlanga, I know Berlanga's done with his deal with Matchroom.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do your one. I don't care. Okay. Do a one fight deal with PBC.
Yeah.
Make the fight. When Shawn? Summer? When is he ready to go? He only fought one round.
Yeah.
Don't do him like that, Shawn.
Yeah.
Don't do him like that, but give him a break.
Give him June.
June?
If we could, because we gotta get, that's too soon?
What Caleb fight?
That's what I'm saying. We gotta get Caleb Plaque.
So Caleb need one?
Caleb need one.
Okay, so if Caleb need one, and right now it's
do
about
Caleb
April.
need one? Do he need one? May.
Damn,
May.
Damn, man.
May, because Caleb need this one. May.
Damn. Does Caleb need one? I'm so confident in Caleb. I don't want to be disrespectful with Lincoln. Man, just give Caleb a couple rounds with somebody, but he don't. But you know,
Caleb don't need one.
He don't,
because he trains at a very high level.
Yeah, I don't think.
And I tell people all the time, like, your training will supplement, you know, your inactivity in the actual fight night. You know, you can't supplement things such as, you know, crowd noise, you know, that true energy. But, you know, in terms of getting your lung capacity to perform at the level it does on fight night, that could be rectified in training.
And if he don't get Caleb, Munguia, that's tough.
Yeah, he said Munguia. I like Caleb.
Somebody get knocked out.
I like Caleb. You know? Yeah, I like Caleb.
Charlo, I don't know. Praise to Charlo, man. I hope you figure it out, man. I understand you're going through a lot right now.
Yeah.
Stop mentioning Charlos. That Charlo.
Yeah.
Jamal.
Yeah.
Jamal. It's Jamal.
Jamal. Yeah.
Let Jamal.
Yeah.
Let Jamal get Jamal right now. Jamal fighting Jamal.
Yeah.
I know everybody keeps calling him out, and it's just not what it used to be, man. Right now, you got a lot of demons.
Yeah.
And we all battle demons, so
Yeah.
I wish him and I pray for Jamal. But right now, I think it's for Edgar Berlanga, it's down to Caleb Plant and Munguia. Hey, I'm also good with the guy that Caleb Plant fought.
Yeah. I'm supposed to get him on this show.
Yeah.
Dang, his name is escaping me. We'll come back with that name. McCumbee.
Yeah.
We'll come. We don't have to come back with the name, but we got Keith one time Thurman. Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast again, sir. Is he froze?
I ain't froze.
What up, Shawn?
What you do, sir?
Happy to be here. I froze on you?
No. We good. We good.
You good? You good? Yeah, that's how Jarvis. That's how you looked at Jarvis. They was like, "Dang, it's a ghost." Hey, Keith. Shout out to, I think her name Katie. She from Australia. She was really arguing me that, oh man, Jarvis. I said, man, I tried to be real cool with it, but I'm like, come on, Keith Daddy Black, okay? That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey,
Keith Daddy Black.
Hey.
Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, we're gonna win the fight.
Hey Keith, but did you run into any Australian people that, like, on the side was like, hey man, you gonna handle the business, or were the Australians like really pulling for Jarvis?
Nah, anybody who was pulling for him, man, you know, they was like, they just pulling for him on the side. Nobody was really in my face talking about yo, Jarvis gonna get you, bro.
Yeah.
Jarvis gonna handle that,
Yeah.
you know. And then a lot of other, like the Aussie fighters and stuff, you was there, Shawn, at that presser. Remember that one boy? He was like, yeah, I got some rounds in with Jarvis. I got some rounds in with that other fighter. And he really gave props to that other fighter. He was like, Jarvis is ready. But he wasn't like, no, I really appreciate that work from Jarvis. I learned a lot, blah, blah, blah. You know, ain't nobody was hyping that kid up, man.
Yeah.
Nobody but his team and somebody in his ear, man, because nobody was really hyping him up, man. 2-time world champion, man. That's why I had to take I had to do my own little Kendrick remix, man, and throw that in there, man.
I encourage anybody to go on YouTube and try to find any clip of Keith Thurman in Australia for the 3 or 4 weeks, however long you was over there, bruh. You deserve 2 checks, man.
Bullying the whole country.
Yeah.
Talking shit to the whole country.
Yeah, you need a check for bullying and a check for the win. Most fun I ever seen you have. Most fun I ever seen you have.
Man. It was 2 weeks of grinding, man. Like as soon as I got on soil, they made me do they made me do some media stuff as soon as I touched down. They definitely was working me, man. But you know, I've done major pay-per-view events. You know, I've done the big stuff before. So for me, I just went out there for 2 weeks. I said, I'm here on business, but I'm going to have the most fun I can have, bro. And I just went all the way live to remind the world that, you know, Keith Thurman just makes people like boxing again. The way I make it fun. I try to make it fun for everyone. It was pay-per-view. I know I said a few more cuss words than I probably needed. It wasn't really PG-13 or rated E for everyone. I did kind of cuss a lot on the trip a little bit.
Yeah.
That little, you know, that's my only little feedback that I give myself.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's a lot of great content, a lot of clowning around. And we had a lot of fun, and we put that boy down.
Yeah, man. You had some of the most fun I've seen you have in the ring, practically ever. What was your grade for yourself after the fight? And also, what percentage would you say you were that night, and you're going to be moving forward?
Should I give you the truth, Shawn? Should I tell you certain things no one else heard?
You've never not given me the truth, Keith.
Huh?
You've never not given me the truth.
Just ask me a real fight question, Shawn.
Ah, God damn it.
Ask me how many times I sparred for this fight.
Oh, snap.
Uh-oh.
How many times you sparred for this fight?
Maybe about twice.
Damn.
I had 2 sparring sessions for this fight. I did a lot of mitt work. I did a lot of bag work. And a lot of mental work in preparation for this one.
Just preserving yourself?
What's that?
Just continuing to preserve yourself?
It wasn't so much about preserving oneself. It's I by the time they really solidified the fight, because you know, you hear about a contract overseas. I wasn't sure what was happening, and I just really needed to focus on just my weight cut.
Yeah.
So I was just focused on my diet and my cardio. There was a lot of cardio preparation, making sure I hit my cardio every night. And I wanted to get another sparring session in before I flew out.
Yeah. And
then I debated whether or not I was going to spar when I was over there. And I didn't want to give that to them. I didn't want any leaked information.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided, you know, it is what it is, man. It ain't nothing new to me. It's boxing, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna do what I do, set up my angles. And I saw nobody was going to his body, so I wanted to go to his body early. And that's what ended up doing everything. It was that left hook to the body. I saw him breathe out of his mouth and wince, and he didn't like it. I put the press on him, hit him with that video game combo, left uppercut, shoryuken, and the fight was pretty much over from there.
Hey, Keith, I always say when people always doubt it, I said, Shawn said this a long time ago, the last thing to go is the power. We always knew you knocked people to F out.
And that's the funny thing about sports and athletes. We know this. We know the fast twitch muscle will die out first when it comes to aging, but the power don't leave it don't even start to fade in men till like you 55 and above, you know? So, so that's a crazy factor. So luckily for me, I am a power puncher. And like Shawn said out there, he's like, man, look, I've seen Thurman hurt people since he was 15 years old. And you can go back to everyone I didn't knock out. Just go look at everyone I didn't knock out. From Bundu to Shawn to Danny to Pacquiao. Go look at everybody I didn't knock out and see what they said about Keith Thurman after the fight. They said that boy can hit.
I ain't saying
that. They didn't. Nobody was like,
I ain't saying
that. You know?
Hey, Keith, when you hit Shawn that time and you had him dazed, you should have spun him off and got on his ass again. And you would have knocked him out.
See, that's another thing, too. I think there's a time in my career where I lost real killer instincts. Where, you know, I don't know if it's just because I'm super cocky and I just feel like I can win a fight any type of way. But it's like, it's all right, recover and let's do more. Like,
okay.
When people see round one of this fight with Brock Jarvis, everyone's saying, oh, Keith Thurman showed his ring rust in round one. No, Keith Thurman made a game plan to let this boy tee off in round one. I'm letting him tee off. If I don't want to be there, I'll move my feet. If I move my feet in round two and I move my feet in round three, that means I could have been moving my feet from round one. And in the opening round, I wasn't there for him. What you got to understand is that Brock Jarvis could never put me up against the ropes the way Shawn put me up against the ropes. Mm-hmm. Once I started moving in round 2 and 3, you could clearly see that he was having problems. Mm-hmm. And he didn't have that real pressure the way that Shawn had that pressure to really, even with my movement, sometimes just be like, I'm still right on you. You're going to have to deal with me. You know, he didn't have that type of ability. And he didn't, if he did, he didn't have the time to show it. So, you know, it is what it is.
Keith, is there anybody over there that can beat you on that island?
In Australia?
Yeah.
On that island? I don't think so, bro. I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Because, you know, it's another, they send out their big guns. If he get past Joey Spencer, they send out their big guns to take you out. Tszyu.
I mean, them big guns are like, you know, I mean, come on, what did I come out to? This is America. You know, like our guns are bigger than their guns, baby. Look at their military. Look at our military, baby. They need help. All right. They be signing treaties over there, bro. They need assistance. Okay. They ain't ready for war. All right. They ain't ready for war. Oh. I told you guys last year, Tszyu was not scary. All right. I'm the one who said he's not the boogeyman. All right. He signed the contract against me. I was supposed to be the first dog to drop him, put him out, and shush up their mouth, man. They live on an island, bro. They got this distorted view of the world. They think so much of themselves, man. And obviously Tszyu got, so he knows better now. But there's just a certain degree of his team. Like, how much are they working on that defense? How much are they working on, just being able to go toe-to-toe and pull out and block well? I mean, Jarvis had his hands, when I dropped him, he had his hands up, but it's just being able to get around the gloves. It's little things, man. When I fought Shawn and he blocked 3 of my opening left hooks, I said, oh, Shawn came to fight today. I said, oh, Shawn came to fight today. He ain't letting that guard go. He ain't letting me get my easy whop. I was like, I'm going to check hook Shawn all day. And I went up in there and I said, bop. He said, bing. I said, bop. He said, bing. I said, bop. He said, bing. I said, oh, shoot, maybe we're going to have a long night today. Shawn came ready. Yeah. He ain't letting me get that hook off today.
Hey, yo, Keith, at any point...
I'm not going to get hit. He said, well, I'm not going to let Thurman hit me with his hook.
Hey,
came in with that game plan, boy. He wasn't giving me that hook.
But you did catch me a couple of times in that fight. At any point, did you feel like he's gone? Or like, or when I wasn't gone, like, were you surprised at all?
For you?
Yeah.
No, man, you 100% dog, bro. I mean, I've seen you in the ring with Danny Jacobs and stuff. You and me fought Boo Boo and stuff. Like, you just dog. And, you know, I was the champion. So I knew that you and your father wanted to be champion again. Mm-hmm. So I got all dog Shawn Porter, man. And, you know, of course, I could have, you know, you could have been lesser, but you ain't show up with no lesser, bro. I felt like you gave me 100. And that's why I had to dig deep and just, you know, and just really, really dig deep. You didn't make it easy at all. And I just had to do my boxing stuff and just kind of finesse a little bit, use my defense, use the ropes, pick shots. And then it was a tough one, but I think at the end of the day, I was able to get some clean punches off, you know, and do some things and just squeeze it out, man. But you know, it was never easy. It started off kind of smooth first 4 rounds. I was okay with that. Next 4 rounds, I wasn't happy with that. And then I just had to kind of best you in the last 4 and let them raise my hand. So it was a tough one, man. And we got Showtime's Fight of the Year that year, brother.
Yeah, man.
We got Showtime's Fight of the Year, man. They played it back at the end of the year. And that was just a beautiful time in boxing. And so for that year, for us to have Fight of the Year under Showtime, I mean, I just thought it was an honor.
Yeah, man. You chose that's the perfect word, man. Word. That was a beautiful night for both of us. 1 second.
Yeah.
But you had a lot of time on the sidelines. 2 fighters specifically that continue to move on. Number 1, did you ever see Terrence Crawford getting where he is now? And number 2, the fight that he had with Errol Spence. Obviously, that fight's been done and over with. But, you know, we never saw you with Errol. I don't think we'll ever get that. And did you ever see Terrence even getting where he is right now and possibly being an opponent of yours?
Yeah. I mean, the year 2019, when I was fighting, when I got the Manny Pacquiao contract, was the first time in my life I actually got the phone call to fight Terrence Crawford.
Oh, wow.
But I forget which side of his managerial team from Top Rank or whatever, they were reaching out to me. They were offering me good money, and it was fine. But I just told them, I said, look, man, this is nice, but I'm in negotiations with Pacquiao, and I can't say yes. I gotta go get Pac. Mm-hmm. And you know, it's a great fight for us in our generation, but you know, I never got the Floyd Mayweather fight. So you know, the Pacquiao fight just was the next level for me, and I just couldn't say no. I had some issues that year that I wasn't happy about with my body, but I was fighting through it with my left hand because after the Pacquiao fight, I needed surgery. I needed surgery after the Jose Cito Lopez fight. My doctor was at the fight in Brooklyn, New York. He lives in California, and he was at the fight. So he's backstage with me. He goes, "Hey, Keith," he's like, "You ready for the surgery?" And I said, "Hey, Doc, I think they're gonna give me something special because Adrian Broner just fought Manny Pacquiao."
Yeah.
And so we knew that Pacquiao was on the PBC side now. And so, you know, sometimes we can foretell things a little bit in boxing. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. And I just kind of knew what was going to be in the works. And they kind of told me, like, hardcore, like, yo, Keith, if you want it, it's yours. If you don't want it, we're going to give Pac to Danny. You know,
oh, wow.
We're going to go off for Danny Pacquiao.
Wow.
And I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
Like, so, but after that one incident, then I had my hand surgery. Then I'm coming back, and then 2020 hit, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, Shawn, but you fought in LA studios, right?
Yeah. I know.
With
I
no
fought in LA
fans,
studios.
right?
Yeah.
That fight was offered to me, and I denied it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm on the phone, and they say, "Hey, Keith, we got an offer for you. You got to remember, I just fought Pacquiao in a packed house at the MGM Grand." And I literally told them they didn't tell me how many rounds. They didn't tell me how much money. I didn't let them speak. I said, "This sounds like the most boring offer you've ever proposed to me. I'm not interested." Fighting with no fans,
yeah.
I fight like I'm an energy person. You saw what I just did, baby.
And I got a clip of that I'm gonna show. But you know, the funny thing about the fight I had during the pandemic, I told my dad, I called him, I said, hey, I want to get in the ring. He said, ain't nobody fighting right now, no big names. There's nobody for you to fight. I said, it don't matter. I said, I'm getting in the ring. I want to be the first big name to get in the ring and show these guys that it can be done. And that was kind of my way of trying to like kind of send that message to the boxing world. Let's get back going. Let's stop dragging our feet through this thing. You know what I mean? So that's funny. I never knew that you got that call to fight Sebastian for Mella. And then we ended up taking it.
I didn't even know who the opponent was. They said, we want you, Thurman, to be back, to be the first fighter back. I got the offer first, and I just thought it was boring.
Yeah.
And I denied it.
Yeah.
And that was the first big stake Keith Thurman made in his boxing career. But how was I to understand that was a big mistake?
Yeah.
Because we didn't understand the implications of COVID at the time. And I didn't get a phone call to fight till finally I got the Mario Barrios fight.
Wow.
So it was, but that was my doing because I didn't show any interest.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was very complicated at that time.
Well, listen, I'm going to show this clip real quick. Hopefully you can see it on your side, but I just felt like you had some of the most fun I've ever seen you have in the ring on a fight night, man. Check this clip out real quick. I knew it was coming, so I just...
Jarvis digs deep, gets to his feet, but Thurman's poised.
Yeah.
And here he comes. It's like he never left. It's Thurman the Great.
I'm supposed to be working right now. I had to get this. I had to get that, man. Congratulations to you, Keith, man. That was a big night, big moment for you. You sitting still now until the Joey Spencer and Tim Tszyu fight shakes out?
What's that?
I said you sitting still from a stand. You're not willing to get back in the ring at all until this fight with Tim Tszyu and Joey Spencer shakes out, right?
I mean, look, man. I mean, if the soonest way I can get back in the ring is by going to Australia again, I'm gonna do it. They don't want your boy fighting. They don't got the contracts in America, man. It is what it is, man. I wish you had the triple slap with me and you, baby. I wish you had me get in the ropes.
I wasn't trying to, man. I ain't messing up my suits. God damn it! What I look like?
I was hyped, bro.
You
I
was
didn't
so
even
hyped.
see Tim Tszyu. Everyone, I didn't even know Tim Tszyu was next to you, bro. I was in my zone, bro.
Oh, wow.
I said, man, let me dap up my brother right here, man. Let him know, like, some of us on this level, we still got it. You know, that's the one thing, man. Inactive, 2 fights in 5 years. Thurman's not beat up. My injuries have beat me up more than these fighters have ever beat me up in boxing, man. I just got to take care of myself and have a few more good years and just do what I love doing, man. That's what that was right there, man. It was just about being in that ring, owning that ring, man. As soon as I got in the ring, it just felt like my house, man. Yeah. I felt like an anointing, man, like welcome back. I knew before the bell rung, this dude really doesn't know who he's in the ring with right now.
Yeah.
Like 100%, he has no clue who he's sharing the ring with right now.
Yeah.
And these hands will tee off and they're going to hurt this boy. And I just was full of confidence, full of life, full of flavor, full of joy, you know, and I mean, that's what 3 years of inactivity does for somebody who loves boxing, somebody who not just in it for the money. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who has the memory of the joy boxing brought into his life when he was a kid. You know what it's like, Shawn. When you champion, when you fighting for the big money, eventually you end up getting big stress.
Yeah.
There's a stress that comes upon us that we never felt when we was kids.
Yeah.
And when that stress hits you, it almost makes you wonder if you really love boxing or not. Because you don't. At that moment, with all that stress, with all that anxiety and all that pressure, boxing don't feel the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was pressure. Keith Thurman better not lose to Brock Jarvis. But Keith Thurman would never lose to Brock Jarvis. There was never no pressure in this fight for me, you know? And I was just so joyful to get back into the ring. For the first time, it's not about anything besides my legitimate comeback into the sport that I love and all that pressure of being champion and doing this and doing that and having the big name for the first time in a long time, I ain't feel none of that, bro. And I just got to be in the ring, like just in the state of love, bro. And that's what I tried telling people in certain interviews, that there's two human emotions that move people. The two strongest human emotions. Every psychologist knows these two emotions. It's love and it's fear.
Fear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when they say, why is Keith Thurman still fighting? It's one of the two. Either I actually love boxing on a level that you can't comprehend. Okay. Or I fear not being important in life. Okay? I fear not being in the spotlight. I fear people not being on my Instagram feed. I fear people not acknowledging me as champion. It's one of the two. And you can look at it however you want to look at it, but I know in my heart of hearts what moves me.
Sure.
And it's my actual love for boxing.
Yeah.
And I think, when you see some of what just went down, you got to see me emanate the joy and the love that boxing has brought into my life. And the fact that so many people were hype. I had people literally watching the fight at 4 a.m., bro.
Yeah.
That's different, man.
Yeah.
So, I had people at 7 a.m., 9 a.m. back in the States talking about some, I'm litty right now, Thurm. The way you just did this, bro. Energy was just hype, bro. People woke up in the daytime instead of watching boxing at nighttime. People woke up in the daytime. They got the news feed. They got the highlights. They saw the energy, the excitement, the ring walk. They saw all that. And that's what life is about. If you can't be happy for your brother,
sure.
If you can't be happy for another, what's the purpose of joy? That I get everything that I want in life?
Right.
Joy is when we can share it amongst each other.
There it is.
That when somebody graduates, when a black man graduates from high school, that we applaud that brother.
Yes, sir.
When that black man goes to college and he gets his degrees, that we applaud that brother.
Yeah.
When a young man stays out of jail and he finds himself a good woman and he gets married, we applaud that brother.
Yeah.
That we should be able to unite in one another's joys in life. And I felt some of that with this trip overseas, man. And all the love I feel is great. All the hate I feel just motivates. And it's just a cycle, baby. Keith Thurman's back. Do with it what you will. I can't help it if they put me in with duckies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna come back. But by the end of this year, when we done with this Australia run and we make big fights happen in America again, they're gonna see Thurman really does what he says, and he really brings excitement, and he really does want big fights back. But I'm gonna take what I get. But the ultimate thing is, let's get back at the highest level once again. I still have that vision.
I've been selling for a long time. I've been saying Keith is good for boxing, and I think that you've demonstrated that last weekend. You demonstrated on the podcast right now with the beautiful words you had to say. Do me one thing, and then we're gonna let you get out of here. Break down. You don't have to go too deep into it, but break down Joey Spencer versus Tszyu.
This is an interesting matchup because we get to be just like they were trying to be with me. We get to speculate hard. What does Tszyu have after those two losses?
Yeah.
Now, the best thing that Tszyu's got going for him is that he's fighting back in Australia again.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And that home team advantage, that sense of comfort, right? But he needs to buckle down. He needs to buckle down. He needs to go hard. And I just love when fighters are coming off of losses, because you got two men that got something to prove, and only one's really going to prove it, and make a statement, on some level. I know Tszyu is, the bigger man, in my opinion, the bigger puncher, with that right hand of his.
Yeah.
So I still don't know exactly where Joey is, mentally, and everything that's happened to him. but life is about moments and opportunities and how you step up, and if you really want it, or if you're forcing yourself to do it again. Like I said, are you really fighting to be somebody, or are you just fighting for that next paycheck? Like, I'm not done making money. This is how I make money.
Right.
Fighters get into that money standpoint. So I just want to see who's got the real dog, and then who's got the real skills. Because sometimes you can give it your best shot and still fall short, and that happens in boxing. It's okay. But let's see if Joey really comes out bringing his best, and if Tszyu is able to shake off the cobwebs and the trauma. It's really trauma, not drama, trauma that he went through in 2024. So is he going to be able to get up? Like, I remember back in the amateurs, you were there when I fought Charles Hatley and I got dropped twice. Yeah. Right?
Y'all dropped each other.
And then I got to face Charles Hatley at the Olympic trials, right?
Trials, that's when y'all dropped each other at the trials.
Yeah. Well, we dropped each other at the in Colorado Springs.
Damn.
And then at the Olympic trials, I won on points. I think I gave him a standing 8 count, though. I don't know. We might have both gave each other standing 8 counts, but the one when we dropped each other was Colorado Springs.
Okay.
And because you and me were sparring partners, we did a sparring session that time. And then yeah, man, I just remember having to mentally get over the fact that, like, this man put me down twice, and I got to go toe to toe with him again. And that's a challenge, but you can mentally just say, like, look, I've hit him, dropped him. He hit me, dropped me. He dropped me twice. I dropped him once. But the same way that I'm not looking forward to him putting hands on me, there's no way he can be looking forward to me putting hands on him.
Right.
So when I realized we're two men in an equal position, right? And that's the way that I look at this fight with Joey Spencer and Tszyu. That they both had they both rocked the boat. They've had a ship sink out in the big ocean of the world of boxing, but they're gonna go back out there on another voyage, and they're gonna try to be successful, and so I just think whoever is physically and mentally prepared is going to be the winner. So I don't really have a big breakdown. I look at it more of a psychological fight.
Right.
And then of course there's going to be the physical preparation as well. And let's see what happens.
And if everything goes right this summer with Tszyu or Joey Spencer, who we want? Who's the ultimate goal? Earl Spence, Fundora, world champion, legend. Which one? Or resume.
Oh, come on. Gotta catch them all, Pokemon.
Okay,
go.
Okay, because after the fight,
baby. It's Thurman versus everybody.
Okay.
Everybody. What? Thurman Fundora?
Ooh.
Give me the belt. Spence, the one that got away.
Oh, okay.
See, everybody talks about Thurman never wanted Spence. What you gotta understand is we were both managed by Al Heyman, and make a long story short, I never saw his name on a contract. Okay? I don't care how many times you say something in an interview, your manager and my manager never brought the fight together. The real truth is Keith Thurman was not supposed to lose to Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence was supposed to fight Manny Pacquiao. Only because Thurman lost to Manny Pacquiao. If Thurman never lost to Manny Pacquiao, then you would have saw Spence Thurman on the highest level.
Right.
See, y'all don't understand how to play chess. I'm sorry, this is what was supposed to happen. It didn't happen. Oh, wait. So you're saying that, so he was supposed to fight Manny, but he didn't fight Manny. And then Ugas fought Manny. And then Ugas beat Manny. And then all of a sudden in the arena in Dallas, you're watching Errol Spence versus Ugas? And you think that night was not supposed to be Thurman versus Spence? You guys are tripping. You're tripping. He just luckily got to get the belts without seeing me. And that's life. It happens. Things don't fall the way you happen. You thought you were laying a trap, but all of a sudden you lost a piece, and now you're not in position to do the moves that you wanted to do. okay? That was supposed to been happen. And then the thing that you don't know is how I signed my contract against Spence. And then he went and fought Crawford. He didn't commit to the fight that when it was coming to him on the real table.
Yeah.
It's actually on the table now.
Yeah, you
and
telling
he
me
went
about
elsewhere.
that. Yeah.
Why? For the money. For the money. If I'm gonna take an L, I might as well get paid. Okay? A lot of people speculate what's going on in his career, man. I think it's a fight that could have happened. Some people still want to see it happen. They want to put the big names together and just let it run one. The whole Pacquiao Floyd thing, it happened 5 years after it should have happened, but it still was a fight and people still enjoyed it. So we don't know, man. There's a lot of people from my generation that are walking out. The biggest thing that Keith Thurman did that people didn't think I would do is look good. Because Danny didn't look good. Spence didn't look good his last fight. Shawn's only looking good commentating right now. He's done. He's done.
Don't say
He
only.
says, I'm happy.
Don't say
I'm
only.
done. I did enough.
Don't say only.
Huh?
I said, don't say
You look
only.
good. You look good in a suit and tie, baby. You look. I saw you training somebody too. You look good as a coach.
Yeah, man,
you was mentoring somebody. You look good as a coach. I saw you giving some young blood giving you respect.
I am. I'm training.
Putting in some workouts with them in the gym.
I'm training somebody right now.
So you and your mentorship.
Yeah.
You and your commentating. You got your podcast on.
Yeah.
Only Crawford, Thurman. Deontay Wilder ain't been looking good. There's not a lot of people from this generation looking good, man.
Right.
So I'm trying to have that longevity card, and it's gonna be tough, especially once we get back in with the real best of the best. But that's what I really live for, man.
Keith,
let's put everybody through the Thurman test, man. If I can get the Spence fight just to run it for the history books, run it. But Fundora definitely on the hit list for later this year, definitely.
Hey Keith, what do you think about this Crawford Canelo matchup?
Superstar
Keith,
boxing matchup.
Keith.
It's almost like celebrity boxing, but within the world of boxing. You know what I mean? It's just the biggest fight that Crawford can make in his career. It's his Floyd Mayweather. It's his Manny Pacquiao. It's literally Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
And you can't hate on it. He did so many amazing things throughout 140, 147, moving up and going after the top dog here. It takes athleticism and strategy to beat Canelo. There's no such thing as an unbeatable fighter. He is beatable. It's just most people don't beat him, So let's just see what happens, man. I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. I still think, I told people when the Spence Crawford fight happened and the way it went down, I said, you put Thurman in the ring and it ain't going down like that. And I think everybody should have known that on that night. But it is what it is, man. I'm tired of my inactivity. So 2025 is it's going to be any form of activity that I can get. I'm going to take these fights. I'm going to take these contracts and I'm going to keep it moving. And yeah, hopefully I can get back to some status. But if Crawford loses and he ain't ready to sail off in the sunset and he wants another payday, Thurman's been here and I'm still here, baby. It can't nobody put a hype fight up like me. Crawford don't talk a lot. I respect him. I don't got a lot of trash to say to Crawford, man, but I can still just explain to people why this fight, it would be a tremendous fight. So if he want to come back down to something under 168, I promise you that. I can make that right now. I'm not trying to be at no 168. So we'll see what happens with him and his career. But yeah, man, best of luck to my man because he comes from our generation, from the amateurs, man. I love seeing my brother succeed. Like I said, it's all about sharing in each other's success. He gave me a bbig shout out on my IG. He had his emoji hands up, praising me for my W. And so, I mean, that's just what it is, man. From, all our brothers, man, Danny Jacobs and, Deontay Wilder. We got love for brothers from our generation, man. we just love one another, man, on a different level, because we understand the road that we walk.
Yeah.
We understand the struggle that we take in this life that we live, and the toughness and the grind and all the oblations, the ups and downs that come in this world of boxing, man. So we got a different type of mutual respect for each other, man. And so I wish him the best of luck. I really wish him victory. But Canelo, he's just one of those dudes that you can beat him, but is you gonna do it?
Yo, Keith, man, get back with your family. Love you, big dog. And I'm gonna come mess with you in a couple months. Like
Before I get off, man, wifey said, "Thank you, Shawn. Thank you for supporting my husband."
Oh yeah,
she loves listening to you talk. She's very grateful, and hopefully one day we can get our kids together. Wifey wants you to know that. All right?
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll talk in a minute.
All right, one love.
Bless to you, boss.
Keith Thurman.
There it is, man.
Yeah, that's been a show, huh?
Yeah, between him and Deontay Wilder, the longest winded guys in the game.
No, Bernard Hopkins.
Oh, Bernard, yeah. Bernard, no, don't say nothing about Bernard. He's supposed to come in here soon. So
between you and him,
you gonna be sitting next to you.
We're gonna touch front door.
No, we gonna let everything else happen. And
Okay.
we'll catch y'all right back here next week. In closing, it's not the destination, but who you become as you pursue it. Okay? So as you pursue your destination, stay calm, stay poised, weather the storms, make it through those trials, and celebrate every single win. This is the PorterWay.
Stay blessed.